Hello, and welcome to the 100 Points in 30 Days Summit, where we address individuals who need to add 100 points on their credit score in 30 days or improve their business credit score in 30 days. Now, I've rounded up several of the top professionals in the niche of personal and business credit education, finance to help with this issue. My name is Emmanuel Michael. I'm a former radio host of a top entrepreneur show in Mississippi, Texas, and Tennessee. And I'm here with a gentleman from Brooklyn, New York, who is a specialist in personal credit. He knows 100% about what it takes to become successful in finance. He has worked at Merrill Lynch. He has trained and directed the products and services division for some of the world's largest real estate franchises. He is Six Sigma Black Belt certified and has written a children's book on how to save. I present to you Mr. James Gray. Mr. Gray, how are you doing? Welcome to the 100 Points in 30 Days Summit, sir.
I'm doing well, sir. How are you, Emmanuel?
I am fantastic and wonderful, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. I'm excited, super excited to have you here because I know you got some nuggets that you can share with some of the audience here.
Yeah, man, I think I really do. You know, it's like, you want to try to help people all the time. And I think I do have some things I can share with people that are really going to, improve their credit score in 30 days.
Great. So as we get started, just tell me a little bit about, I said Six Sigma. A lot of people may not know what that is. What is exactly a Six Sigma?
So really, if you think about Six Sigma, it is a defined way of approaching business and how you do the business. And most companies use it as a way to find, where they have defects in their company, where things that they can streamline, that they may not have thought about in times of past. Sometimes you get to the point where you're doing processes over and over and over again, and it's working for you. But you can look at some of those processes and say, listen, I know we've been doing it this way for a long time, but I can find a way to streamline this so it doesn't take so many hands to get the job done, right? And we can do it more effectively. We can be more efficient in it. So Six Sigma is just a way of looking at how to increase your business efficiency.
Okay. So would that include like business owners who like to, let's say, eliminate some of the things that they need to have, like insurance? I know a lot of people, that's the first thing that goes for business owners. They say, you know what, the cash flow is not there. We're not going to have the insurance we need for our company.
Now, I wouldn't necessarily say it looks at, getting rid of those things, but I would say it looks at, well, how can we get the best insurance that we need and not spend as much that we are spending, but making sure that we have everything we need, right? So when you think about your processes, let's say when you think about making a hat, for instance, right? And all the things that go into making a hat. And so when you think about that, I need the materials, right? I need the hands that can do it. I need the machines that can sew. You want to think about the process. We want to think about, okay, now how can I make this hat, give a good quality hat, but not have to use all the resources that would cost me so much money to give this same quality hat out. So it doesn't look at totally eliminating the insurance, but looks like how can I get the insurance that I need, but at either a lower cost or get some better quality out of the insurance that I already have. Okay.
So Mr. Gray, why credit restoration or education? Why did you choose to go that angle and route? Because, it seems like you cover every aspect of the business, but you came back to credit.
Yeah. So I spent a long time in financial services working at one of the most storied, financial service companies in the world, Merrill Lynch, right? And so that's where I kind of got my training. And really, when I look at my career in that, I really started from the bottom and worked my way up to the top. And so in doing so, my background and being a kid who grew up in the inner city, I found myself really drawn to, and I know church people won't like when I say this, but a love for money, right? Not a love for it in the sense that I love it so much, but a love for the education of it, finding out, where it comes from, how we should be using it, all those type of ways. And so with that, I kind of wanted to help other people. I wanted to help other people understand, especially people that look like me, people who lived like I lived growing up. I wanted to help them, educate them on money and stuff like that. So for me, when I tapped into the credit business, I said to myself, wow, this is something that everybody needs. Because we've always been taught that cash is king. You have cash, you can go and pay for it. And there's so many people out there that will teach you that, how to save. And even me, and I know you mentioned at the top that I have written a book. The book is not written yet, but I'm working on children's books, right? To teach our kids how to save. So one of the things that kind of got me into is that even though cash is king, if I have good credit, I can still get anything that I don't have the cash to get. It really, 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 really does matter for you to have a good credit score. And when you look at it, you need a credit score to get into almost anything today. You want a new apartment, you want a new house, you want to drive a car and not pay a lot of money. Even the credit cards that you have, you want to lower your interest rates on those. If you listen, even today, jobs. And I know no one will come out expressly and tell you that they don't hire you because of a low credit score, but trust me, jobs are checking credit scores. And even though they may not hire you, or they may not hire you for a job, they're gonna look at that credit score, and your credit scores, believe it or not, can determine on whether or not they hire you for the position you want or they give you something else. Because if I can't trust you with your own credit score, I'm not gonna trust you to have a corporate card, right? I mean, at the end of the day. So you want to make sure that
mess up my company credit.
Absolutely, right? So, you want to make sure that, you have a good credit score. So for me, already being passionate about money, and then knowing that everybody needs a good credit score to move forward, to elevate their lives, it was a no-brainer for me.
Wow. I never thought about it like that. You hire a person on, you're putting them in charge of your company's credit score pretty
Absolutely.
much. I've heard situations where there've been a lot of nurses out in California that were terminated because they didn't have a good credit score, or they had a decent credit score and maybe some things happened and the company can't step to them and say, look, you got so much time to fix this, pay this collection off, or take care of this situation. If not, we're gonna have to let you go.
Yeah. And here's the thing, right? Because having a good credit score, and we'll move a little bit into this, but having a good credit score means that it shows that you're a responsible adult at the end of the day. That's what it's showing. And everybody wants to hire a responsible person to work for them. And if I find that you're not responsible in other areas of your life, I certainly cannot trust you to be responsible for my stuff.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly. Now, what are some of the main challenges you find when helping a new client with their credit?
Some of the main challenges I find are that, number one, most people don't even know what their credit score is.
Wow.
They don't even know it. For some reason, I'm really not sure, and I don't understand this fully. People are nervous about their credit score. You would have really thought that they were going to the doctor and the doctor was going to give them a bad report, and they didn't want to hear it. And in some cases, it is a bad report. But people are really nervous. They just don't know. And I think that's the one thing that's holding so many people back, is because they don't know. And ignorance is what's holding us back. Ignorance has nothing to do with how smart you are, how intelligent you are. It has everything to do with what you don't know. And what you don't know can hurt you. Mm-hmm. And so much so in the case of a credit score. When you don't know your credit score, it can hurt your life and hurt your level of living and hurt your children's future. And that's the number one thing that I find that with a lot of new clients that come on, that's really holding people that they don't know and they're scared of it. I literally had a woman that I was working with, and she came on and said, when I was talking to her about it, she's like, I'm sweating. I was like, you need to relax. This is your credit score. We're going to get your life back together. No need to get that nervous. It's a credit score. And what you've done in the past, we can help that. But you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere working. So the biggest thing that I would say is that they don't know and they're not willing to start. They don't want to ask for the help. For some reason, we also think that if I tell you what my credit score is, you're going to know too much of my business and you're going to look at me differently. Where in fact, if you look at it, right, out of all the millions of Americans that are in this world, we still have at least 46 million who have a credit score that's under 600. So you're not this only person going through this in this situation. There's so many other people like you.
Right.
You know, you got to get over the fact that anybody's going to know your business. I'd rather you know my business if you're going to help me to move forward, to get my act together. So, you know, that those are a couple of big things that, to me, that I find with a lot of people, that they don't know, and then they're not willing to ask and or get the help because they're scared that somebody's going to know their information.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you educate your clients, or do you just actually do the work that, you know, improve their scores, or is it an educational process that goes along with your method, your system?
Listen, I am about educating people and teaching them how to fish. Absolutely. It does me no good if now I could be selfish, right, and say, and just do it for you and allow you to move back into bad credit eventually, again, making the same mistake that you did make to get you to the place where you are when you came for my help. Or I can educate you to help keep you out of that so you can know what to do for yourself going forward. I'm about education. Listen, I would love to have this steady stream of people coming in and have this, you know, all these people that need my help and always want me, and I'm going to have that. But at the end of the day, if I'm not helping you, and let me just be very clear about this, anybody you're working with, if they're not educating you and teaching you the right way, you don't need to be working with them. My job is to help, not only help you, but to educate you, to show you what you did wrong and show you how not to do that again, to not get yourself back in this place, and for you to help spread that message to other people that are in your sphere of influence, right? You want to be able to say, you know what? I got some help on my credit score. This is what happened. This is what they walked me through. This is what they taught me. I want to tell you, because you want to be able to tell your children and have your children tell their children. And it's about leaving a legacy now, right, of not making those same mistakes that got us to where we are. And I think that's the problem that we have today, right, because most of our parents or our loved ones did not help educate us on these type of things. And that's why so many of us found ourselves in the way we did.
Mm-hmm. Now, what advice would you, Mr. Gray, what advice would you give someone who's looking to start a business, but they have less than perfect credit?
Well, the first thing I would say, if you're looking to start the business, move forward and starting your business. I am all about people going after what they're passionate about. Okay, I don't want to stall anybody on doing that, because what you can do while you're starting your business is you can work on your business credit. You can get your credit right. It may not move as fast as you want it to move, but you have to expect that it won't move that fast because your credit is not right. So what I would advise that you to move forward and start your business. And then what I would advise you to do, now you start working on your credit. Now you start getting the things back into place that you need to get in place to make sure that you are a credit-worthy business, that people can trust you with what they're going to loan to you for you to grow your business, right? So you want to make sure that you are doing all the things that you need to get your credit together. And, you know, that means that making sure that your credit utilization is in the right place, making sure that you're not in over your head, right? You're spending way more than you have coming in. You got to know where to draw the line at and know how to just, and a lot of it is just about being patient. And I always tell people, whether you open a business or whether it's your personal credit, it took you years to get to the situation that you're in right now. Do not expect that it's going to take you, 2 weeks to get out of it. It's going to take you some time. But if you have the perseverance, and I'm a big believer, if you're passionate about what you do, you can have the patience for it.
Right. Now, shifting gears a little bit, James, can I call you James?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, James. What would you tell younger James Gray 10 years ago? If you can go back in time and give yourself some advice, what advice would you give yourself?
Well, the first thing I would tell myself is that when you walk onto a college or university, leave that credit card application right where you found it. Laying on that table, on that counter. That's the first thing I would say. Because a lot of us got into trouble with just that, right? You go off to school, you're happy to be at school, and as soon as you get there, you see all these credit card applications. They are baiting you. They are pulling you in. And you fill out that, and they give you that little credit card. And now you're just on campus, and you want to be big man or big woman on campus, and you're partying. and you're out there buying food on your credit card, and you're buying, clothes to go out for the weekend, and it's gotten a lot of us in trouble. So the first thing I would tell myself is leave that credit application right there. Not until you have become knowledgeable about how to be responsible with the credit, right? So you want to make sure that you do that. The other thing I would tell myself is that you want to make sure that you read. If nobody tells you anything, make sure you pick up a book, make sure you go online, make sure you go to a library. I'm sure those still exist today. I know many people don't go to them, right? But make sure that you are reading and filling yourself with knowledge. There is so much knowledge out there to educate you on how to use your money, to how to save money, to how to use credit, to how to build credit, and we don't do that. So the one thing I would tell my younger self is to read more.
Mm-hmm. Now, you talked about something that I've addressed in the past about the credit card companies showing up on the college campuses and baiting our young adults early on. What is your opinion about secured credit cards? And let me give you my example about the secured credit card. You get a secured credit card for $300, right? You put your $300 on the card, and next thing you know, you go out and you're partying, you're doing the same things you were just telling us in that example, but you end up going over your limit, or you end up maxing out your card. Then you get a notice from the secured credit from the credit card company that, hey, you exceeded your limit, you went over your limit. Oops, I don't have the money to pay. Now you got a late pay fee. Next thing you know, after you go through the debt cycle, because you're not able to pay the bill on time, you actually went over your limit because you didn't pay the bill on time. You actually got a late pay fee that they added on there. So now your $300 turns to $500-$600 in fees. You're not able to pay it for 60, 90 days. They charge the account off. And now that same secured credit card that you put your money up for ends up being a $1,200 charge off showing up on your credit report. That seems illegal. It seems illegal or something. What is your opinion about that?
I'm with you. It seems illegal. I don't know if we can ever call it illegal, but it does seem that way. My opinion is this, and again, I think this is why I try to talk to as many young people as I can. When I say young people, I mean in grade school, right? Because you really want to start preparing people in their really younger years. And I really do mean this. There's nothing that I can do about something I can't control. They're going to always be there. They're going to always do that. They're going to always have those items there for you, and they're going to try to bait you in with them. What I would say to people is that please, please, please do not go after that card without arming yourself with the understanding and the knowledge that you need to handle that card. Now, with that being said, I'm also a realist. I know that a lot of us are never going to do that. We see it as free money. I need this right now to enjoy my life. I'm young. Let me do what I want to do. I'm impervious to anything that could happen, right? So, we're going to go and do that anyway. But the other thing I would say to you is that when you do that, just know that there are going to be consequences. I can't do anything about the banks and the credit card companies who put that stuff out there because I can't stop it by myself. Now, we can write Congress people and all the other stuff and try to get regulations and stuff like that put in place, and that may take us all a lifetime. But what I can do is how to help educate my child or the young people that have going onto campuses, or my nephews or my nieces and my cousins, everybody else, to say, listen, you're going to get to school. You're going to see these things out there. Don't sign up for it. If you need something, you need to come see me first and let me tell you about the things you can do to get it, or you have to know that you have to go without it for a while. Or if you do it, there are consequences. See, that question was a little loaded in the sense that I know that there's some things I cannot control. These banks and stuff, they're bigger than me right now. Maybe when I become the billionaire that I'm setting out to be, I can have a little more power, but they're a little bit, so they're going to always be there. They're going to always do that. They're going to always bait us. But what I can do is help educate people. And so that's the good thing about what I love about working with this company I'm working with, is that we educate people. I want to be able to tell the mothers and the fathers out there, listen, this is what you did to get yourself in this situation. Now I need you to go help educate your children so that they don't do the same thing. Because, dude, at the end of the day, they're going to be there. That's going to happen. But we also have to be real with our kids and say, these are the consequences if you do that. You may end up years paying off debt for that little fun time that you had. And it may take you years to pay off that debt and years to get yourself out of a pit just because you wanted to have a little fun for a weekend or a month or a semester.
Okay.
So that's what I would, literally say. I'm not sure if that was the answer you wanted, but listen, like I said, I'm a realist, and I'm very, very honest and open. I can't do anything about anything I can't control. But what I can control is me educating someone to not go out there and do those things. Stay away from it. Treat it like it's a disease, like it's fire, until you are responsible enough to handle it. That means you've armed yourself with information to know what a secure card is and to know how to handle using that card.
So, describe the process behind how you would actually help a person when they decide to get started with your program. What would you have them do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, et cetera?
Well, when somebody comes to me and they say, I need help with my credit repair. I need some help. My score is real low. The first thing I always ask them is, do you know what's on your credit report? Because again, it's all about educating that person. Many times, as I said before, they don't know. They were scared to ever find out. They've never gone and ordered all the reports. Or everybody, and this is no knock against anything, because I use Credit Karma, I'm on Credit Sesame and all these other things, or they'll use all of those tools, which are good tools, because they do get some good information to you, but they use all of those tools, and then they have a false sense of what their real credit score is, right? Because all of those tools use Advantage, and most banks and lending institutions use FICO. So what I try to tell people and help educate them is that, number one, do you know what's on your report? What's keeping your score down? What's not allowing you to get the things that you want to get in life? That's the first thing I say to them. And then I say to them, do you want to know? I can only help someone if they want to be helped, right? So there's a thing that we have in our church, right, that we say all the time. We love people that participate in their own healing, right? Because and I don't want to get churchy on this interview, but you go to church, you talk about, oh, I need God to heal me. But God already told you how to be healed. He told you to turn that plate down. He told you to stop that smoking. He told you to step away some other things that you've been doing that have been detrimental to your health. It's the same thing with your financial life, right? You know some of the things that you should be doing to help your financial healing. You just don't do them.
But James, it's the holiday season, and I got to get my children Christmas gifts, and we got to make sure that everybody is happy in the family. So I'll just put it on credit, and tax season come around, I'll get it caught up.
Listen, you do that if you want to, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to spend months digging yourself out of a ditch that lasted for one day. And we all know we buy these toys for kids. They're going to play with their number one toy. Everything else they're going to leave under that tree or all over your floor. The same thing with the teenagers. They're going to take that nice one little sweater you get them, or they're going to take that money card, whatever have you. Listen, I'm all for Christmas. I love Christmas. I love everything about it. I love the giving season, right? But you have to be responsible. You cannot go out into this world and put yourself in debt like that for one day. You just can't. It's not sensible, it's not smart, and it's not knowledgeable. You should not do that. You can get your kids the gifts that they want. You can buy your loved ones some gifts. Maybe they won't get everything they want, but I'll guarantee you, if you're shopping with love, they're going to receive it with love.
That's right. That's right. Now, James, you've given us a path to success on this interview, on your social media profiles. But what is one reason why most people fail?
I have to go back to, well, I got more than one reason. One reason is why. Number one is because we just don't make a start. We don't even make a start. We don't even make an attempt. And so to me, when you don't make an attempt, you're already failing. Number two, we don't arm ourselves with knowledge. The one thing I've learned, and I had a long conversation with a young gentleman yesterday on the phone, the one thing I've learned in being in corporate America, and I'm going to be very open and honest here, and I'm realizing that you're going to interview a lot of people, right? But one thing I've learned is that me being my African-American self, working in corporate America, I have to go into the meetings that I go into sometimes. I'm the only one that looks like me sitting at the table. The only one, okay? So for me, the route that I've always taken is that I have to go into whatever meeting my boss calls me into. I have to go in there knowing. I have to go in there knowledgeable. I have to go in there literally almost trying to be the smartest person in the room at the table. Because when you don't do that, you're going to be discounted for other areas in your life. And I never wanted that to be said of me. So for me, you've got to read. You got to arm yourself with knowledge. And there are too many places to get the knowledge from out here in this world for you to be sitting around not knowing what to do. Too many places. Now that we have social media, there's just the reach is boundless. Not just in this country, but across all other countries, you can get understanding and knowledge. So for you not to have the knowledge or for you not to get the knowledge, to me is unacceptable. Unacceptable. You have ways to get it. Now, if you're telling me that you don't have social media, which I was never a big proponent of, okay, if you're telling me that you don't have internet access, that's a whole nother thing. Walk yourself down to a library. They're still there. I trust you. I passed 2 or 3 of them yesterday. They're still there. Go in there and read a book. They have internet service. If you're on social media, there's so many people out here that can mentor you. Look for a mentor. Look for somebody that's going to impart some knowledge into you to help you get to where you want to go. Listen, I will never say that I'm the most intelligent, the smartest person in the room. But what I do is I surround myself with people who are much more intelligent than I am, so I can learn from them. I heard a long time ago that even in your personal life, you need to be building yourself a board of directors. A board of directors for your personal life. A board of directors that are not just yes people that are going to tell you, yes, I agree with you. Yes, you should do that. Yes, people that's going to sit down and say to you, you know what? I don't think that's the route you should go. Or you made a mistake when you did that, and here's why you made that mistake, right? You want a board of directors, somebody to help keep your life in check in every area of your life. And so those are the things that I would tell people. Find people that you can surround yourself with that will be your board of directors. They don't have to be from the same background as you. They don't have to be from the same industry as you, but people that you know who are going places and are doing things that you can glean from. When you do that, you build yourself. And you actually make yourself now more valuable, right? Because now you know so many things. Man, my dad grew up in the South, right? Didn't have a great education, worked all his life. That's all he did. He worked so that me and my brother, we could have a better life. The one thing he taught me, though, he would always say to me, I don't care what you do, always read. Oh, if you read, you make yourself a more well-rounded person. So what I started to do, because what I saw him do every day, is read the newspaper. I would start out with the local newspaper. When I went to work for Merrill Lynch, I started reading the Wall Street Journal. Nobody had to tell me. We had free copies. I was like, let me pick this up. I started reading about business. So now when I go to events, when I go to social gatherings, I can talk to anybody in the room. I can talk to you about sports. I can talk to you about business. I can pretty much give you a weather report if I need to. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make yourself well-rounded, and you do that by reading, arming yourself with the knowledge that's in this world. And there's enough knowledge out there, enough places that you can do that.
Wow.
I talk so much.
You said a mouthful. That is some excellent advice. Excellent advice. So, I got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
Who is James Gray? Tell us truly of who is James Gray. What makes you tick?
Oh man, that's a loaded question too. I think what makes me tick is the fact that I have a passion, like I said earlier, to want to help people. I want to help people live the best life that they can live. And for me, I found that was through financial freedom. And I'm not just playing on those words. I mean, literally, it's through financial freedom, right? Because so many times, or for so long, so many of us have been held back because we did not have the money, we did not have the resources to do the things that we love to do. And so for me, my passion is to help people do that. So that's one of the biggest things that make me tick. The other biggest thing that makes me tick is my family, right? I want to be able to leave a legacy. I want to be able to say that, not that, another great thing that I read and I heard is that, the part of your life between the date you were born and the date that they put on that tombstone that you leave this earth is that dash in the middle. I want that dash, while it might look small on that tombstone, I want that dash to be filled with so much information so that people say he left this world with a legacy of creating financial freedom for people so that they can better their lives. I want people to when they think about me, when they remember me, when I'm gone from here years from now, I want there to be somewhere that, there's a memorial to James Gray that says, this is what he did to help other people. I don't care about, how much money I make, although that's important. I really don't care about, if people like me, they don't like me, as long as they can say that he helped somebody.
Hey, you took me out there. That was good, man. That was good. You made me think you had me thinking over here about myself, man. That's one of the things I've always said. I want to impact the world.
Absolutely.
You want to impact the world. Now, our number one question for the day. Okay. If you had a new client that needed to improve his or her credit score by 100 points in 30 days, what advice would you tell them, or what would you advise them to do in order to achieve those 100 points in 30 days? Or can that even happen?
It can happen. It definitely can happen. And so, while every case is different, here's what I would say, right? Number one, you want to make sure that for all the credit cards that you have, your credit utilization on those cards, you're keeping it at 30% or below. I'm a big fan of 25 to 30, right? Because again, to the credit bureaus and to the credit card companies, it shows that you are responsible with what we have lended to you, right? So you want to keep it that. And then when the credit bureaus go and get the reporting from the banks that give you those cards, and they see that your credit score is under that 30% utilization, your scores jump immediately. Again, because your score is a grade of how your credit reports are doing. So having your credit utilization down is showing that you're responsible, that you know what you're doing, and that you know how to handle the money that they've lent to you. So that's the first thing. That's going to get your score up at least a good 10 or 20 points right there. The other thing that I would say to somebody, make sure you're paying your bills on time. There is nothing more that hurts your credit score than you having late payments on your bill. Make sure you're paying your bills on time. And if you can, you don't have to keep to the minimums. If you can pay more on it, pay more on it, because that way now your debt to income ratio, you're lowering that. So now your credit score is going to go up a little bit more because now you have more room, you have more money that you can lend to other things. The other thing I was saying, we talked about a little bit before, is one of the things that we utilize with FES, right, is a secured card. Getting a secured card can literally raise your credit score by a good 30 to 40 points just by getting access to that card. And if you're really responsible with that card, with a secure card or an unsecured card, another thing that can raise your score is that if you've been responsible with paying your bill on time, if you have been keeping your utilization at a responsible rate, 30% below, many times you can go and ask for an increase in your credit. By getting an increase in your credit, that's going to boost your score even more. And guess what? It's going to give you more credit utilization room that you'll have in your own personal account. So those are the ways I would do. The other thing that I would say to everybody is like a lot of things that we use right now is you want to make sure that you have good seasoned trade lines on your credit report. And I don't mean trade lines that I'm buying from somebody else. None of that. What I mean is that, even now for us, we use what we call, credit my rent, right? So we use credit my rent now, right? So one of the biggest expenses that most people have is their rent payment. One of the most biggest expenses you have. And most times, most people are paying their rent on time every single month, unless you want to be outside on the street. So they're paying their rent on time. Why not get credit for that rent that you're paying? This is a big move in the industry, right? And we can go back and look up to 2 years. So now I see that you've been paying on time. You have a seasoned trade line on your credit report now. Something that's going to add to your credit history, showing that you have good history of paying on time. All these things, that alone can boost your score up by another 40, 50 points. So I've already given you 110 points right there. And then there are so many other ways to boost your credit score by 100 points. But those are just some of the first things that I would look at. I hope that answers the question.
Hey man, you have definitely given us a lot of nuggets today. So I know the audience and the people that are watching this interview are going to be ecstatic about the information. They're able to take this information and apply it. Now, if they need to get in contact with you, can you put your social media handles out there, how they can get in contact with you so they can get some more of those good nuggets from you?
Absolutely. So listen, if you can email me at NLL, and that NLL stands for Next Level Living. So NLLcredit1@gmail.com. You can go to my Instagram page. That's NLL_credit_solutions. And you can find me in both of those places. And listen, I look forward to people asking me questions. Even if you don't need my help in repairing your credit, you can hit me up and just ask me questions. I love to educate. I love to teach. Let me help you understand how to have good, solid credit and give you the power you need, because you are powerful. You just don't know it yet.
Hey, man, I definitely appreciate it. Good information, folks. That's our time for the day. We appreciate you tuning in to Mr. James Gray of Next Level Living Credit. He is the guy. He is Six Sigma certified. He's a black belt, Six Sigma. He is a credit education expert. You have just heard it first here from 100 points in 30 days. And if you need any additional help, definitely give him a call. Send him an email. Go to his Instagram, Facebook, so you can get the questions answered and get yourself to the next level. That's enough for us, folks. We look forward to talking to you again. As always, with Emmanuel Michael Live, the results are real.